this. Why now is the Loya Jirga being called? I mean, the last one was during Karzai's tenure in 2013. This could have been done earlier. Why did he take this opportunity this time to call the Loya Jirga?
Let me begin by first saying I'm not entirely sure I agree with Mr. Intizar. It is true that the Loya Jirga is a centuries-old Afghan democratic method of dealing with such crises or decision-making. But I think it's important to point out the fact that it is not possible to manipulate the outcome of a consultative Loya Jirga. Back in 2013, when former President Hamid Karzai held the Loya Jirga, I believe that was to determine whether or not the people were for or against the signing of the bilateral security agreement. I believe that President Karzai had hoped people would oppose it, but in fact, the Loya Jirga was very much in support of that agreement. So President Ghani holding this consultative Loya Jirga it very much is his prerogative as the elected president of his country. And let's not diminish what 3,000 delegates means, 28% of which are women. The delegates also comprise the families of martyrs. There are among them also most of the tribes represented and many young people who have a stake in the future of Afghanistan. So let's not diminish what the Loya Jirga means. However, and even though it's not necessarily going to issue a decision, the fact that 3,000 people coming together and giving the president a sense of what the will of the Afghan people is critical, because this is something that that he can then say, well, look, I'm not coming to the table empty-handed. I represent the will of the Afghan people.
Especially considering that the criticism from the Taliban is essentially been that the current government is a US stooge and they refuse to speak to them. At the same time, now that he is calling this Loya Jirga, and like you said, it's not easy to manipulate the outcome of 3,000 delegates, how do you interpret Taliban's criticism of holding this Loya Jirga?
Well, the Taliban, that has been their position since the very beginning, that they do not want to negotiate with the Afghan government because they consider it a US stooge. But they can say whatever they like. This is the elected Afghan government, and they have to be included in these talks. No peace talk can be productive without the participation of the Afghan government. A couple of weeks ago, they found problems with the 250-member delegation that was supposed to come to Doha. Today, they're finding a problem with the Loya Jirga. I don't think the Afghan government can do anything that's going to change the Taliban's mind on this issue. But it doesn't change the fact that the Afghan government must be included in these negotiations.